Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris Down One, and I am back with another video. Alright. We're gonna be talking about Carmelo being traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the New York Knickerbockers get Doug McDermott and second round pick and Enes Kanter in the deal. All right. Now, basically, I thought that this is going to be the very best deal the New York Knickerbockers were going to make, particularly trading Carmelo Anthony. All right. Now, as we all knew, Carmelo wanted to go to Houston, and Houston wanted Carmelo Anthony, but there was a sticking point to that. The Houston Rockets really didn't have anything to make a trade work, because the parts Houston was trying to give to the New York Knickerbockers was unacceptable. Okay, so basically, management, MSG, basically went to Carmelo Anthony saying, "Look, we know you want to be traded. However, you're going to have to broaden your horizon on the teams you want to go to." At the end of last week, there was reports out there that suggested that Carmelo Anthony broadened his horizon to his favorite destination. His desired destination was the Houston Rockets. However, he would reconsider on the Portland Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers, even though the Cleveland Cavaliers really didn't have nothing much to offer other than Isaiah Thomas and that draft pick. And even though LeBron wants Carmelo, I'm not too sure if management, particularly with the Cleveland Cavaliers, wanted to deal with Carmelo and giving up so much just for Carmelo Anthony. All right. And then I told you guys in my video that do not be surprised if the Oklahoma City Thunder are in this discussion. Now, a lot of people were, coming back at me talking about, I don't see the Oklahoma City. Besides, they got Paul George. All right. So now let's talk about the trade on both sides. Okay. This is one of those types of trades where it was needed. Okay. This was more of a win for the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the New York Knickerbockers. Okay, the New York Knickerbockers got some young pieces plus a second round pick. Okay, and they can see how these young pieces work with Porzingis, and then they have options. They can either keep these pieces and try to build on top of the pieces that they have, or they can trade these pieces later on down the road if things don't work. Okay, so I think this is more of a win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a minute win for the New York Knickerbockers, and the reason why I say that is I feel like the Oklahoma City Thunder got the best end of this deal. Now, as far as the Oklahoma City Thunder go, yes, they have technically two forwards. Okay, they got Carmelo Anthony as well as Paul George. However, a lot of people don't realize Carmelo Anthony, when he was with the Knickerbockers, played so many different positions. All right, he played some two, definitely three, and he also played a lot of the four spot. Okay, particularly when 3 or 4 years ago, before they got Porzingis, he used to play the four spot a lot, because they had other pieces that they had to put on the roster, like when Iman Shumpert was a New York Knickerbocker, J.R. Smith was a New York Knickerbocker. So Carmelo Anthony does have some familiarity with the four spot. Okay, so this is not going to be a huge issue for Carmelo Anthony to do the four and keep Paul George at the three. And Westbrook was always going to be a one. Okay, which he could play two. All right? He can technically play two. He plays like a 2 guard, but they keep him in the point position. Okay. Now, what this means for the Oklahoma City Thunder, as far as you know, advancing further in representing the Western Conference, particularly in the NBA Finals, I think that's a strong possibility. If they keep what they already have established, they need to tweak the bench a little bit more, maybe add a little bit more depth to the bench, you know, maybe signing a couple of veterans, or, you know, some players that just didn't pan out in other organizations, and maybe they'll pan out here, and they're going to have to experiment on that level. But however, there's no denying they're going to have teams are going to have some matchup problems trying to figure out who they're going to double up. Are they going to double up you know, Westbrook, or let Westbrook do his thing, double up on Paul George, and doubling up on Carmelo Anthony? All right, Carmelo Anthony at the 4 is going to be a nightmare for a lot of power forwards in the Western Conference, because a lot of power forwards in the Western Conference, even though I had stated for the record, Carmelo Anthony is getting a little longer in the tooth. He's not as athletic as he once was with the Denver Nuggets. Still, he's athletic enough to cause a lot of power forwards some nightmares. Okay, you know, a lot of power forwards are going to have a hard time matching up with Carmelo Anthony when on the Oklahoma City's offensive end. However, they can turn it around and flip it on Carmelo Anthony, and be a nightmare problem for Carmelo Anthony when they get the ball. However, how many power forwards are offensive threats in the Western Conference? It's really not that many. If you're talking about Dirk Nowitzki, Draymond Green, just to name a few. I know there's others out there, but however, you know, it's not that many to where the Oklahoma City Thunder is going to have to figure this thing out. Okay, now chemistry is another thing that may you know, taper some of the success of the Oklahoma City Thunder, because let's just face facts, face reality. None of these 3 players have played with one another in the NBA. Yes, they have played on the Dream Team, the U.S. Olympic teams, the summer leagues when they was younger, but gelling together on an NBA in an NBA season, it takes time to develop that. I mean, you just don't come walking out the gate having it. And I say the next 20 games, they're going to experiment with one another. Okay, now Westbrook is going to have to in some aspects of certain games, he's going to have to be more of a distributor and not the guy that's going to take it to the hole. All right, so he's going to have to develop his playmaking ability and making other teammates better, particularly Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. And he has to prove to Paul George that this is the destination he needs to sign up for when the NBA season is over with. Okay, but I think he will, and I think Paul George is going to like Oklahoma. It's not LA, of course. It's not LA, but it's got some familiarities, just like Indiana. All right. He was with Indiana for a long period of time. It has that small market vibe in it, so that may be attractive to Paul George. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, they have to realize that they may lose Paul George anyway when this NBA season is over with, and he may go to the Lakers. Particularly if you read the reports about maybe LeBron James may be going to the LA Lakers. Okay, so that may be a hot destination spot for a lot of veteran teams, and we just gonna have to wait and see for the future of that. But however, when you're talking about the present of what they're going to do this year, they could be an NBA title contender if they can get the chemistry right and, you know, playing with one another. I mean, these are no slouches. These are some good players. I think they're gonna cause nightmares matchup wise with a lot of teams in the West. Definitely in the East. I don't see anybody in the East dealing with it or trying to contain them. The only way this team has a problem this year, if you want to call it a problem this year, if the chemistry is off or one of them gets injured and they miss a lot of time on the court, and you know, that could play a huge problem. But I like the deal overall. I think the Oklahoma City Thunder, they won this deal, all right? And to be fair, the New York Knickerbockers, they didn't lose it. They won some certain aspects of this deal. They got a lot of young pieces that they can put on their squad, and then they can figure out if they want to keep them or not. But still, overall, it's a decent deal. It's not a win-win for both sides type of situation, but it is what it is. It was the best deal that the New York Knicks were going to get from any other team. Okay, but guys, tell me what you think. Rate, comment, subscribe. Please, notification squad in the building. Hit that notification icon, that notification bell, so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream is going down. It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I am out.